if the loud noise at 11:50 p.m. was indeed a gunshot?
The gun. Yeah!
Please show the court evidence if you have one.
Take that! This is my evidence.
Murder.
Something about this pistol was bothering me, Your Honor. Both of the witnesses who testified yesterday heard 2 gunshots. However, the murder weapon was fired 3 times. When then was the last shot fired? Only now have I realized the truth. The 3rd shot was the shot Larry heard just before midnight.
Order! Order! That would make sense of the evidence we've seen so far. However, this leaves me wondering exactly what did happen that night on the lake.
Exactly. If this is true, then there were 2 sets of gunshots separated by 25 minutes. One at 11:50, another at 15 minutes after midnight. Why, I ask you? Why? I better think of something quick. Wait a second. Gunshots separated by 25 minutes.
What's wrong, Nick?
I have it!
Huh?
Remember the case with the steel samurai?
Huh? Yes, of course I remember.
The murderer in this case had the same idea as the murderer in that case.
What do you mean?
Maya!
Yes.
If we don't figure this out now, we'll never overturn Judge Edgeworth's guilty verdict. Got a hunch. I'm going to run with it.
Right. I mean, is this safe?
Safe? Boy, they got a guilty verdict. We have nothing to lose. You just watch and let me know if I say anything that sounds fishy, okay?
Right, Nick.
Your Honor.
Yes, Mr. Wright.
The testimony just now has cleared up this entire case.
What do you mean, Mr. Wright?
So you finally realize the truth. There can be no other murderer here than Miles Edgeworth himself. Wrong one, Karma. The man was shot that night, but it wasn't Edgeworth who did the shooting. Listen, rookie. Take a deep breath and consider the facts. At the time of the murder, one boat was on that lake. This was shown by the witness's photograph. Defendant Edgeworth and the victim Robert Hammond were on that boat. There was a gunshot fired on that boat and Robert Hammond fell into the lake. The distance of the shooting was 1 meter. Couldn't have been suicide. Well, the guilty party has to be the other man on that boat.
I admit it is hard to imagine any other possibility.
Yes. This assumes that the victim was shot at 15 minutes after midnight.
What do you mean by that, Mr. Wright? We have photographic evidence of the time of the shooting. The timestamp on the photo says 00:15.
But Larry heard the gunshot 25 minutes before that. Robert Hammond was killed then, 25 minutes before the shot on the lake. It's the only way that Edgeworth could be innocent. Mr. Wright, are you quite mad? Explain who the 2 men on the boat are. Of course, it was Edgeworth and the murderer. After the murderer killed Robert Hammond at 11:50, they assumed the guys on Mr. Hammond had met Edgeworth.
What? you serious?
Yes, Edward won't tell us why he went to the lake that night. However, I have a hunch. That night, Robert Hammond called Edward to the lake. Now Edward didn't know Robert Hammond's face that well. That's why he didn't suspect anything when the murderer took Robert Hammond's place.
I'm not sure what to make of all this.
Ludicrous.
Mr. Wright, tell us the name of the murderer then.
Murderer's name, right? It's... Actually, I don't know the murderer's name.
You don't know.
Again, you waste my time. I don't know because he never told us. The murderer is the caretaker of the boat shop, that old man. In 1150, he was the one who called Robert Hammond.
Caretaker of the boat shop. Where did he do this? There weren't any boats in the lake then.
Why would he have to go all the way out on the lake just to shoot someone? I suggest that the real scene of the crime was not on the boat.
What? Well then, where did the murder take place?
On the shack. Here, of course, the boat shop where he lives. That way, he could meet with the victim without anyone seeing.
Objection!
Do you approve that the boat shop was the scene of the crime?
Do we have proof?
Recall Larry's testimony, if you will. That night, he was out on the lake in a boat searching for something. He finds it and returns the boat. And just as he's starting to head for home, he hears a gunshot. He heard the gunshot, Your Honor, even though he was wearing headphones at the time. In other words, the gunshot was very, very close by. And where would that be if he had just returned the boat?
The boat shop. Mr. Wright, what happened that night on Good Lake? Please tell the court from the beginning.
Yes, Your Honor.
Nick, are you sure about this?
Not really. But I think if I start at the very beginning and I take it slow, I might just be able to figure this out. At night, the caretaker of the boat shop called Robert Hammond to his shop.
Oh, I got scared. I'm sorry.
This was around 1150. That was when the gunshot that Larry heard was fired. After that, the caretaker put on Robert Hammond's coat. He became Robert Hammond. Then he got in the boat with Edgeworth and went out into the middle of the lake.
Then, who fired the pistol on the boat, Mr. Wright?
Of course, it was a murderer who shot the pistol. Shot twice. Both missed Edgeworth on purpose.
Wait a minute.
Yes?
Why would you shoot twice if we didn't mean to hit anyone?
Details. Know this, Mr. Wright. The moment I run out of explanations is the moment you lose. Tell us why the murderer had to fire twice. I believe he shot twice to create a witness, Your Honor.
Create a witness?
The murderer lifts his pistol and fires one shot. That ensures that anyone who heard the shot would look at the lake. Indeed, his heart did exactly that after hearing the first gunshot. Next, the murderer waits a bit and he fires again. Then, he jumps on. The murderer jumps from the boat himself, leaving the pistol in the boat behind him.
I see. someone looking from the edge of the lake, it would appear that one of the men on the boat had shot the other.
The murderer didn't know about the automatic camera, of course. That's why I shot twice to draw attention to the boat. Once you realize that everything else falls into place. Boat shop caretaker swung back to his shop. Then he put Mr. Hammond's wet coat back on the body and threw the body into the lake. This is what happened, Your Honor. These are the events that transpired that night on Gourd Lake.
Bailiff, bring out the witness from before. The boat shop caretaker, quickly.
Where is he?
Very well, while we are waiting for the caretaker.
We will continue this on the next episode. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you again on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.